What if Anakin told the council about his visions of his mother dying? In Attack of the Clones, Anakin receives dreams of his mother dying, and in a desperate effort to save her, he disobeys his orders and travels to Tatooine, where he finds Shmi dead at a Tusken Raiders camp. This sets in motion a ripple effect for Anakin's descent to the dark side. However, what if this wasn't the case? What if instead of acting out of emotion and disobeying the Jedi's orders, he instead told the council about his visions of Shmi dying? Let's start today's story on Naboo. Anakin begins having reoccurring nightmares of his mother suffering. The Chosen One knows he has to save her, but also understands that he has a duty to protect Padme. He requires guidance from the council. The young boy calls the Jedi Council from Naboo, appearing as a hologram in the center of the room. Yoda asks Anakin what's on his mind. Anakin pauses for a moment. What he's about to say could change everything, could change the fate of his mother's life and his life as a Jedi. He tells the council that he's been having visions of his mother dying, and he requests leave from his mission, as well as assistance from the council on this matter. Murmurs spread throughout the 12 present masters, all exchanging glances before they focus their attention on Master Yoda. The Grand Master thanks Skywalker for bringing this to them, and said that his situation is unique, that it's unusual for a Jedi to have such a connection to their mother. It's uncharted territory. Plo Koon interjected and said that it would be foolish to ignore this formed attachment, and to do so could cause even more harm. The entire council nod in agreement, but Master Windu wasn't convinced. He didn't trust Skywalker, and he believed his emotions were rampant. He tells the council that he will accompany Anakin to Tatooine to search for his mother. As for Padme, she is reassigned under Shakti's protection, who leaves the Jedi Temple immediately for Naboo, where they will remain for her safety. The story follows suit. Windu and Anakin travel to Tatooine, find Watto, who directs them to the Lars homestead, and Klieg Lars tells them that Shmi was taken by Tusken Raiders. The Jedi waste no time, riding speeders directly towards the Tusken camp, which they reach by nightfall. In this story, Anakin gets to the Tusken camp faster, having not wasted time at the Lars farm and having Windu assist in locating her. They find Shmi barely alive. She was weak and had clearly been tortured. As Anakin rushes to free her, he triggers the alarm at the camp, and Skywalker and Windu are forced to engage the Raiders in battle. While they take them out with ease, the difference here is that Anakin didn't resort to the level of anger that he did in the original timeline, since Mace was there and because they were able to get Shmi out before she died. They take her back to Windu's ship, which was equipped with a Bacta tank, and after a few hours, Shmi slowly regained her strength and was able to commune with her son again. Anakin feels immense gratitude towards Windu, and for the first time, he sees him as someone more than the jealous Jedi Master who never respected him. Meanwhile, across the galaxy on Naboo, Shakti is ambushed by bounty hunters hired by Count Dooku. Led by Jango Fett, a small team infiltrates the Amidala estate, and while Shakti tries to hold them off, she is no match for the combined strength of the bounty hunters. Shakti is killed, and Padme is taken prisoner. This completely changed the atmosphere back at the Jedi Temple. A respected master is slain, and the senator is captured. The situation within a few hours had completely changed. Anakin couldn't help but feel responsible. If only he hadn't left Padme's side, then he would have protected her against the bounty hunters. Anakin presses Windu that they must stay on the mission. Getting Padme back is their responsibility. And while Windu didn't like it, over the last couple of days he and Anakin had grown closer. He started to realize that he wasn't just an arrogant kid who believed he was the most powerful man in the galaxy. He was just a normal Jedi trying to find his way in the Force. And he had unfortunately ended up still having an attachment in his life when he joined the Jedi. That means that he faces problems that every other Jedi doesn't, and this isn't his fault. As the council convenes, Windu elects himself and Anakin to lead the retrieval mission for the Naboo senator. Anakin becomes obsessed with saving Padme, arguing passionately to the council. Normally they'd deny him, but with Windu pushing as well, the council agrees. Hey guys, over at Fantasy Sabers, for the entire month of September, we are giving away a free Xenopixel plastic saber with every order. Xenopixel sabers offer movie accurate sound, smooth swing effects, and customizable coloring, making now the perfect time to grab a free saber for an unbeatable Star Wars experience. Meanwhile, Sidious subtly manipulates the events from the shadows. Padme was now on Raxus, the Separatist capital. Sidious planned to use Padme's capture to completely destabilize the Separatists and essentially force the Republic into war. He did this by broadcasting that she willingly denounced the Republic and supported the Separatist cause, all while keeping her captive. Dooku essentially told her that if she didn't publicly support the Separatists, then the same bounty hunters would be ordered to begin slaughtering senators. Padme believed submitting to Dooku's wishes was the lesser of greater evils. This sparked political chaos in the Senate. Some senators believed Padme's words, and this led to raging debates in the Senate. Over the course of a few weeks, there are several broadcasts made where Padme explains that the Republic isn't what it used to be, that it prides itself only on the upper class and anyone below it is left to rot, that the Separatists will bring peace to the galaxy. Palpatine tried to mediate the chaos in the Senate, but secretly he loved it. This was the exact discourse he needed to further his grand plan. Anakin and Windu track Padme's recordings to Raxus, where they infiltrate the planet. They sneak through the city and into the Separatist headquarters, slowly moving past the droid guards and standard battle droids, yapping that they're bored because there'll never be any fighting at the Separatist capital. The Jedi followed their senses, and they couldn't believe how easy it was to get inside the prison, and to Padme's detention block. As they located Padme, they realized why. On either side of her were two Magna guards and a Sarge Ventress. The Jedi ignite their lightsabers and the fight begins. Windu engages Ventress as Anakin fights the Magna droids, swinging and dodging their electro staffs as he parries their attacks. He quickly dismantles one droid by slicing their chest and causing all of their limbs to crumble. But the other droid didn't give up so easily. As their swords clashed, Anakin called on the Force as a barrel from the corner of the room hit the Magna Guard and knocked it off balance, allowing Anakin to slice off its head. He turned victorious, but before he could join Windu in his fight, the droid got back to his feet, not finished yet. But Anakin had enough, raising the enemy with the Force and ripping its arms and legs off in one swift strike. On the other side of the room, Windu was having fun. Ventress was no match for him, and the second Anakin joined, she tried to escape, but Skywalker blocked her exit, causing Windu to double his efforts and kill her. Padme is successfully rescued and brought back to Coruscant. From here, she addresses the Senate. Padme denounces the Separatist propaganda and says she was held against her will in prison, that Count Dooku was behind everything, and the Separatists are traitors to the Republic. The Senate roars in support. Palpatine capitalizes on this opportunity, declaring that the Republic must be armed for war. Emergency powers are confirmed, and the Clone Wars officially begin. Anakin and Windu report to the Jedi Council, where Mace praises Anakin's talent. He openly says he was wrong to not trust him, that he's a gifted Jedi who wants to protect those around him. Anakin smiles, but he wasn't expecting what Windu was going to say next. Windu announces that he thinks Anakin should be granted the rank of Master. This shocks everyone in the room, including Anakin, who truly thought the Master didn't like him. But Windu said the opposite, saying he realizes Anakin's power now, and that it's power the Jedi need. He acknowledges that it's Anakin's emotions that are his weakness, but he pledges to train Skywalker to master his emotions and get them in check, confirming that it's normal to feel anger and lust for power, but taming it is key, as he has. The Council agrees, and Anakin is granted the rank of Master, the youngest Jedi Master the Order has ever seen. From here, the Clone Wars erupted across the galaxy. Battles were fought on dozens of worlds, and Anakin was in the center of it all. Side by side with Master Windu, he became one of the most feared generals of the Republic, charging headfirst into conflicts that pushed the Jedi to their limits. On Christophsis, he and Windu led clone legions through shattered city streets, cutting through waves of battle droids while the skies burned with Separatist ships. Anakin was tested on Umbara, but under Windu's guidance, he held his emotions in check, striking with precision instead of rage, using the pod as Windu had taught him to channel his anger into focus. Windu pushed him constantly, drilling him in sparring sessions between campaigns, teaching him how to feel the pull of his emotions without being consumed by them, teaching him that the difference between a Jedi and Sith was not the absence of anger, but the ability to master it. Slowly, Anakin began to understand. His swings became sharper, and his connection to the Force was deeper. His control was stronger than it had ever been. During the war, Anakin's mother lived safely on Coruscant under Jedi protection, and when missions allowed, he would visit her. Those quiet moments grounded him, reminding him that beyond the battles and the politics, he was still a son, still a person. It gave him a balance that many Jedi lacked, and with Windu's reluctant blessing, he was allowed to maintain their connection as long as he never let it cloud his judgment. His love for Padme also deepened. Between deployments, he would slip away to Naboo, where the two of them were secretly married in the Theed Palace gardens. Their marriage was kept hidden, but the bond they shared gave Anakin the strength through the hardest of battles. As the months turned into years, the war dragged on. Geonosis, Kamino, Felucia, and countless others. He led clone troopers with daring strategies that left his enemies scrambling, and Windu often remarked that Skywalker fought like a storm, unpredictable yet calculated. The Jedi Council began to see the results of Windu's training. The arrogance that once defined Anakin was tempered, and he slowly became more mature and grounded. He sparred Windu in the halls, and though he could not yet best the Master, their duels were fierce enough to draw crowds of knights and Padawans who whispered that Skywalker would soon surpass them all. At the same time, Anakin struggled with the war's toll, seeing friends fall and entire worlds consumed by destruction. He never lost sight of those he loved. He visited Shmi whenever he could, holding her hand and telling her stories of the battles that he had won, and he returned to Padme whenever possible. The Clone Wars shaped him more than any other experience, and by its height, Anakin Skywalker was no longer just a knight with potential. He was a master of the Force, a husband, a son, and the Republic's greatest warrior, and all the while in the shadows, Palpatine watched, knowing that the longer the war dragged on, the more the galaxy would depend on him, and the more Anakin would be tested. However, everything changed when Anakin arrived back on Coruscant after months away at siege. His sleep was broken by a vision unlike any he had felt since the nightmares of his mother. This time it was darker, heavier, more vivid. He saw his mother again, chained and weak, her breast shallow as if every one could be her last. But she was not alone. Padme was there too, her face pale with fear, and beside her stood Master Windu, who was stoic but still bound by chains. Before them loomed a dark figure in a hood, who held a red lightsaber. His voice echoed through the dream, cruel and commanding, saying that Anakin could only save one of them. The Sith Lord pressed his weapon against Shmi's throat, then Padme's, then Windu's, and each time Anakin tried to move, he felt frozen, powerless, until the vision ended with the sound of lightsaber cutting through flesh. When he woke, he was drenched in sweat, and his heart pounded with the fear that he thought he had mastered. The next morning, he went to Master Windu and told him everything, telling him of the vision that haunted him for nights, a vision that repeated again and again, with no change. Windu listened carefully, and instead of telling Anakin to let go as Yoda once would have, he told him to go deeper, to face the vision head on, to see what lay behind it. Anakin agreed. He was desperate for answers. He couldn't let his mother and wife die. Anakin and Windu went to the Jedi Council and explained the situation. Windu had a plan, but it required the Council to act together. The 12 Masters surrounded him in a circle, their hands resting lightly on his shoulders, their power flowing into him. With their support, Anakin let himself slip into the Force, sinking into the dream again, and this time when the nightmare took form, he was not bound by fear. He could move, he could breathe, and he could fight. It was like he was there for real, and this was because he had been given this Force strength of 12 Masters. and so he was much stronger now. The vision unfolded before him again, Shmi, Padme and Windu on their knees, the shadowed figure raising his red blade, his voice dripping with venom as he declared that Anakin could only save one. But before any strike could land, Anakin reached out, his power exploding like a storm. The dark figure was thrown back, and Anakin ignited his lightsaber. The fight that followed was fierce and fast, the figure's crimson blade clashing with Anakin's blue in a storm of sparks. The Sith was skilled, his strikes heavy and precise, and his movements were fluid and cruel. But Anakin's training under Windu had sharpened him into something greater than he had ever imagined. Every strike of the pod carried his passion, every movement channeled his anger without letting it consume him. The battle raged across the dreamscape, sand and fire exploding around them until Anakin's power surged to its peak. With the final strike, he disarmed the figure, sending the red blade spinning into the air, and with a decisive motion, he drove his own lightsaber to the Sith's throat. The figure fell back onto the ground, defeated, and his hood slipped away to reveal a face Anakin knew better than any other. It was not Maul, not Dooku, not some nameless phantom of the dark side. It was Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. His kind eyes were gone, replaced with yellow hatred. Anakin's breath caught in his throat. The man who had guided him, who had believed in him, who had promised him greatness, was the Sith Lord they had been hunting all along. The shock of the revelation tore him from the vision, and he gasped awake in the council chambers, every master still around him, their hands resting on his shoulders. He told them everything, that the dark figure was Palpatine, that he had seen him holding a red blade to his mother, to Padme, and to Master Windu, demanding that he choose who would live and who would die. Anakin said he was sure of it, absolutely certain, though we could not understand how it was possible, how the kind old man who had been his mentor and supporter could also be the one who orchestrated so much death and destruction. The Masters listened, their greatest fear had been realized. They knew they had to act quickly if the Republic was to survive. The Jedi wasted no time. They flew straight to the Chancellor's office to confront him. Palpatine was seated behind his desk, but he instantly sensed a shift in the Force the moment the Masters entered. All 12 of them declared that Palpatine was under arrest, that they knew he was the Sith Lord. In that instant, Palpatine's mask slipped. His smiles curled into a snarl, and his eyes flashed with yellow flare. He rose with sudden speed as his red lightsaber ignited. Before the Jedi could react, his blade cut through Agen Kolar, Sazy Tin, and Kit Fisto in a blur. Gasps filled the chamber, but the shock lasted only a heartbeat. The surviving Masters rallied at once, sabers igniting. Palpatine's purple blade hissed to life as Yoda leaped into the fray with lightning speed. The chamber became a whirlwind of light and sound, Palpatine darting and slashing with unnatural power. But this time, he was not facing a divided council. He was facing their full might. Blow by blow, they pressed him back, their coordination overwhelming even the Dark Lord of the Sith. With the final surge, Windu and Yoda forced him down, and Anakin delivered the final strike that ended Darth Sidious once and for all. With Palpatine dead, the Clone Wars came to an end sooner than anyone had imagined. In the aftermath, Anakin stood before the Jedi Council once more, gratitude heavy in his voice as he thanked them for trusting him and giving him the chance to save those he loved. But he had one last truth to share. He admitted that throughout the war, he had been married in secret to Senator Padme Amidala. The council chamber fell into silence, but instead of the anger he feared, Yoda and Windu simply revealed that they had known for years. They had chosen not to confront him because they saw his progress under Windu's guidance, how he had learned to master his emotions rather than let them control him. For the first time in his life, Anakin felt free. He no longer had to live a lie. With Padme's help, Shmi and the Lars family left Tatooine for good and settled peacefully on Naboo, where they thrived in comfort and security. Soon after, Padme became pregnant, and Anakin, while still serving the Jedi Order, took long leaves to be at her side. Together, they raised not just Luke and Leia, but several children, creating a large and beautiful family. With the Jedi and Republic united and the Sith destroyed, Anakin had finally brought balance to the Force and found the peace that he had always sought. If you enjoyed today's video, you must watch What If Anakin Was Trained from Birth and What If Anakin Told Ahsoka About Darth Plagueis. Please check out Fantasy Sabers if you're looking for an affordable saber to add to your collection. We offer RGB, Xenopixel or Profi in various sizes and designs. Also check out our membership program to be able to watch our videos early. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.